Greetings everyone, Slizzle466 here, and in today's video we're going to be looking at some of the best decks for the first week of the Darkmoon Faire expansion. I'm not listing these in any specific order, and you will notice that I have fewer decks than I'm normally featuring simply because it's only day 6 of the meta and there's still a lot of development taking place. We start with Odd Demon Hunter. So this seems to be the way Odd Demon Hunter is going because of Stilt Stepper and because of acrobatics. Odd Demon Hunter has become incredibly heavy on the 1-drops to ensure that those effects are guaranteed. And so that's why we're seeing 21 1-drops here, 8 3-drops. It's a very hyper-aggressive deck, and it's good if you want to get some Demon Hunter wins in. Looking at Druid, we have a double Yogg Jade Druid. So that's not just the Yogg-Saron Hope's End, but also the Yogg-Saron Master of Fate. This is basically your traditional Jade Druid list that you're used to seeing. It's got the Lunar Eclipses here, which can help you get a bit of board control and also some spell reduction. You've got your Oaken Summons package with your taunts. You've got some naturalizers in here for mill, which is nice against Reno Priest or other slow decks, or just to remove big threats. But otherwise, it's just a nice list to have a bit of fun with, especially when you've got RNG in your top end. If you'd rather some faster games playing Druid, you've got Aggro Druid to play with. This is basically the same list that we've become accustomed to. The only new card you're seeing in here is the Wriggling Horror. 2-mana 2/1 Battlecry, give adjacent minions +1/+1. Considering that you're almost always going to have 2 minions on the board with this list, it's a nice little inclusion to try out. And it's only a common, so if it doesn't work, that's okay. Looking at Mage, there were a variety of different Reno Mage lists that I tested, and this is the one that I enjoyed the most. So this is a Luna's Pocket Galaxy Mage. It's a little bit on the greedy end, so you've got Alexstrasza, Kalecgos, N'Zoth, God of the Deep, but keep in mind that you can get the Luna's Pocket Galaxy casted with the Pilgrim, and because of the nerf to Pilgrim, it actually gets taken out of your deck, which is nice. But otherwise, it's just it's a list in development, so you might want to make some changes to your liking. But I'm a big fan of this list. I like the Bad Luck Albatross in here. Keep in mind it's a beast, so it comes back from the N'Zoth, God of the Deep. Same deal with a lot of the cards in this list. You've got your dragons. There's a Murloc in here if you want to get a 2/2 back. There are mechs in here to get back. So this is a cute little list, and you'll have a lot of fun playing it. If you'd like a safer Mage deck to climb with, Secret Mage would be your go-to choice. Now, this specific list you'll notice is running a Potion of Polymorph. This is a tech against Big Priest. You'll also notice there's no Alaneth in this list, and instead we have 2 Rigged Fair Games, which help you draw 3 cards, and you've also got the Sage, Seer of the Darkmoon, which can help you draw a variety of cards as well as develop board. Is this the best way to play Secret Mage? You'll have to try it out to test for yourself. It's also got the Occult Conjurer in here, but I'd recommend giving this a try, seeing how it feels. Maybe over time we'll see this list transition back to a more traditional list, but only time will tell. Looking at Odd Paladin, again, a lot of development in the Odd Paladin archetype. Some cards that are definitely going to stay in the list would be the Carnival Barker, which is absolutely insane. And it does stack with the Steward of Darkshire if you manage to pull that off. There's also a Lithraxian the Redeemed in here. This one, I'm not sure if it's going to stick around. If you happen to have it, that's great. Otherwise, maybe just run a Faceless Corruptor or something. You'll notice this list is running a Light Pirate package. There's a Leroy in here. There's a Loeth Ebdestol. There's also Oh My Yogg, which is pretty hilarious. So you'll notice that there's actually no Never Surrender in this list. This is the only secret, but it's a very annoying secret for your opponent to have to play around. Looking at Priest, we have Big Priest. Now, Big Priest is back. However, it's not as broken as people might be making you seem to believe. I still think it falls into a tier 3 deck. It still loses to hyper aggro. It still beats greedy control decks, just like it always did. The new tools that it got to play around with is the Blood of Gahun, which is pretty ridiculous. You'll notice that Yasharj has been cut because this is functionally a better Yasharj, especially because this has Taunt as well. You'll also notice that it's a little light on the minions. You've got the Scrapyard Colossus and the Vargoth, and that's it. But that's fine because you're going to cheat out, because they're copies, you're just cheating out things over and over again. And it can be pretty difficult for your opponent to try and keep up with all those threats you're pushing out. You can also get these threats out early with palm reading by reducing the spells in your hand, including discovering a spell, so you can get that essence out a turn early. So if you want to play Big Priest, this is probably your way to go. You'll also notice that there's a lot of early game removal like Penance and Spirit Lash, Breath of the Infinite, because again, hyper aggro decks just really beat you down, so you need a way to survive to your Shadow Essence turn. Reno Priest is still alive and very, very strong. This is essentially the same Reno Priest list that we were seeing before the Darkmoon Faire expansion launched. The only big difference you're seeing here is it is running 2 new cards. It's running Insight, which can be incredible because, first of all, it gives you a minion. There are some really good minions in Reno Priest. It's also really easy to corrupt it, so you can reduce that by 2. You know, being able to get your Spawn of Shadows at 2 mana can be amazing. Even getting, you're super in trouble against an Aggro Druid and you manage to pull a Reno for 4 mana. That's pretty good. The other card in here is Palm Reading. Discover a spell, reduce the cost of spells in your hand by 1. This is just pure fuel for your Shadow Reaper Anduin. And so those 2 cards are 2 very strong cards for this list. You'll also notice there's no Mindrender Elucia in this list, and personally, I kind of found she wasn't that helpful for me as well, so I don't mind seeing her cut from this list. But if you really like her, you can sneak her back in. Looking at Rogue, even though Rogue's my favorite class, I've only got 1 list to report on. This is a list by Leak. It's a Kingsbane list. It's pretty similar to the Kingsbane lists we've seen in the past, with the new inclusions of Prize Plunderer, which can help you with some board control, as well as Swindle, which can help you with some tutoring of spells and minions from your deck. So if you like Kingsbane, this is the way to go. Moving on to Warlock, we have Darkglare Warlock by my friend Mentalistic. This is, again, it's the Darkglare you've seen before. There is 1 new card in here, the Revenant Rascal, that he's trying out. A 3 mana 3/3 Battlecry, destroy a mana crystal for both players. Kind of a cute little disruption effect, similar to how Cult Neophyte can disrupt your opponent. It doesn't disrupt yourself though, so it kind of just delays things by a turn for everyone, but often that's enough to just be able to get all those crazy giants out super early. Looking at Reno Warlock, again, I had a variety of choices here, and I went for a deck that actually doesn't run any new cards. So this is literally Reno Warlock before the Darkmoon Faire expansion. I think Ticketus is too greedy. I think Deck of Chaos is too greedy. You got to think of those 2 cards. You know, what are they going to help you with against aggro? Absolutely nothing. They might help you against slower matchups sometimes, but more often than not, they wouldn't. So I know it's kind of boring and disappointing for the Reno Lock players that are watching this, but I really don't think you're going to be running any new cards in your Reno Warlock. And last but not least, we have Galakrond Warrior by Memnarch. So Galakrond Warrior got a couple new tools to play with. Actually, maybe just 1 new tool, and that new tool being Ringmaster Watley, 5 mana 3/5 Battlecry, draw a Mech Dragon, and Pirate. So this is really good for Galakrond because Galakrond Warrior already runs an early game pirate package. It already runs dragons because of Scion. And as for the mechs, well, you've got Clockwork Goblin. So you got your bases covered already. So it's just some more draw for the deck, which is great. If you don't have Ringmaster Watley, that's okay. Just throw in something else, maybe a Loetheb. But otherwise, it's a really solid list to climb with. If you would like to try out any of these lists, you'll find the deck codes in the description below. And if you're a mobile user and you're unable to copy those deck codes, there's a link that you can get to my Discord. Visit the deck lists only channel, and then you can easily get all of those deck codes on your phone. Otherwise, thank you for watching to the end of this video, and if you want to help support the channel, you can click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and until next time, hope to see you again.